My breath caught heat wrapping me tight, hands that weren't his claiming me. I never expected this, not in my wildest dreams. A soft gasp, a low moan, a rhythm that wouldn't quit. This was supposed to be for him to feed his hunger, his quiet fantasies. But now I wasn't sure who craved it more. In New Orleans, Louisiana, I moved slow, deliberate, sliding against Henry, feeling his body tense beneath me. His hands gripped my waist, breath ragged, uneven, like he hadn't been this alive in years. Desperate, eager, lost in the moment, but not because of me. His eyes were distant, chasing something beyond my reach, a hunger that wasn't mine. I saw it clear, the way his gaze lingered on a younger woman passing by, the way he'd pause on certain faces, certain curves. Not disrespect, not even conscious, just a quiet want he never voiced. I didn't resent him. When he clutched my hips, reaching his peak, I felt it. His mind was elsewhere, chasing a vision I couldn't touch. Lying beside him after watching his chest rise and fall, I made up my mind. If this was what he wanted, I'd give it to him on my terms. Morning light spilled across the bed, casting soft shadows on Henry's face. He reached for his phone, half awake, groggy, but I saw him clear. Last night hadn't faded. It burned sharper in the daylight. "I saw it," I said, voice steady, cutting through the quiet. His fingers froze above the screen. "Saw how you looked at her, or how you didn't look at me." His eyes flicked to mine, hesitation flashing, cautious, not panicked but treading light. I let the silence stretch, making him feel the weight. "You don't need to explain. I know." My fingers grazed his chest, keeping it intimate, close. "I want to give you what you want." His body stiffened, but he didn't pull away. "And what do you want?" His voice tested me, searching. I held his gaze, watching his throat tighten, his breath shift. "Something younger," I whispered, lips brushing his ear, letting him feel my words. He exhaled, slow, controlled, but his eyes betrayed him, raw, unguarded. He sat up, raking a hand through his hair. "You don't have to do this." I cut him off, voice firm, air thickening. I wouldn't say it if I didn't mean it. He didn't say yes, didn't say no, and that was enough. The idea shifted from a whispered fantasy to something real. Nights passed, scrolling profiles, dipping into a world we'd never touched. At first it was simple, finding her, his fantasy, my gift. But nothing felt right. Too forward, too forced, too fake. Then a message popped up, not just her, but a couple. I hesitated. This wasn't the plan. Bringing another woman into our bed was one thing, but this... Before I could say no, Henry spoke, voice low, deliberate. "What if it's not just for me?" I turned, meeting his eyes, seeing something calculated, like he'd waited for this. "What do you mean?" His lips curved, slight knowing. "If we're doing this, why not make it something we both want?" I exhaled, shaking my head. "That's not why we started this." He didn't argue, just watched, patient, sure. "You deserve it too," he said, taking my hand, voice softer. "I've seen how men look at you. You don't even notice." I'd caught the glances, fleeting moments of interest, but never let myself dwell. Now he was asking me to. My pulse quickened, the weight of it sinking in. I swallowed, looking into his eyes, seeing he meant it for me, not just him. "Okay," I said, his eyes flashing, a slow smile spreading. We'd crossed a line, one we could never uncross. In the dim glow of our living room, the weight of what we were about to do settled heavy. Silence hung, anticipation and uncertainty crackling in the air. "So how's this gonna work?" I asked, voice low, testing. Henry shifted closer, shoulder brushing mine. "Guess we'll figure it out as we go." I shot him a look. "That's not a plan." He laughed, rubbing his neck. "All right, same room or separate?" My stomach nodded. Same room, I said fast, then hesitated. I think. He raised an eyebrow. Separate feels. Weird, right? Yeah, I agreed, laughing short sharp. What we need a signal, a whistle. He smirked. God, no. A knock at the door froze us. My heart slammed, eyes locking with his. You ready? He swallowed, nodding. Guess we're about to find out. He stood crossing to the door while I gripped the couch, listening to laughter and footsteps spill in. It had begun. The bedroom door shut, and hesitation burned away. Heat rose thick with expectation, heavy with what we were about to do. Clothes slipped off bodies, pressing close hands, exploring mouths, claiming. The woman Lila didn't waste time, her fingers sliding under Henry's waistband, unbuckling with a slow, knowing rhythm. His breath hitched, muscles tensing under her touch, and I felt it. This wasn't just a fantasy anymore, it was real. I wasn't on the outside. I turned to her husband, Ethan, my fingers gliding over his chest, feeling the ripple of tension. I mirrored her lips brushing his jaw, hands venturing lower, matching the quickening of his breath. He exhaled hard, responding in a way that sent a shiver through me. Then, in one fluid move, his hands lifted me, a soft gasp escaping as I sank onto the bedsheet, soft against my skin. His weight settled over me, lips finding my neck, teasing, claiming, sparking a deep ache. Lila moved beside me, her breath-warm body pressing close as she pinned me down, her moan soft blending with mine. Her movements were slow, deliberate, pulling me into her rhythm. I heard Henry groan low, rough, his fingers twisting in her hair as she worked him steady, purposeful. The sounds wove together, raw, unstoppable, building into something primal. Hands gripped my hips from behind, pulling me to my knees, a deep heat coiling as a slow, relentless rhythm took hold. I clutched the sheets, pleasure flooding every nerve, surrendering to the chaos. Lila arched hips rocking with Henry's, her breath ragged. He gripped her waist, guiding her, but his eyes flicked to me, locking on, wanting me as much as her. The shift came deeper, fiercer, overwhelming. I felt them everywhere, bodies pressing, hands gripping, moving in sync, waves of pleasure crashing through me. My breath choked, lost in the heat, the wild rhythm consuming me. The tension coiled tighter, reaching a fever pitch, air thick with gasps and muffled cries. My body trembled, muscles taut, pleasure threatening to burn me whole. Then it broke, a shattering wave, leaving me weightless, trembling. I collapsed, breath uneven, body humming. They followed the room, heavy with raw satisfaction. No one moved for a long moment. I turned to Henry, his chest heaving, skin-flushed eyes dark with something new, not just desire, something deeper awakened. The air was thick, sweat and satisfaction lingering. My nerves buzzed, breath slow, unsteady. I lay tangled between them, skin on skin, the weight of what we'd done pressing down, warm, unyielding. Henry's fingers grazed my arm, his eyes unreadable, different, not just satisfaction, something heavier. We'd gone somewhere new, a place we couldn't return from. Lila and Ethan shifted, sharing quiet, knowing smiles, moving with an ease that said this wasn't new for them. For us, it wasn't just indulgence, it rewrote something in our marriage. As the door closed behind them, silence swallowed us. I turned to Henry, his gaze searching, then softening into a slow, satisfied smile. A new heat coiled in me. I laughed, breathless, whispering, well, now what I told myself, this was for him to make his fantasy real, but I wasn't sure who wanted it more. Have you ever crossed a line for someone you love, or did we go too far? Drop it in the comments. I read them all. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. More's coming. Thanks for being here.